Hi, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited that you're here with me. I'm Jennifer Van Heswick, and today I want to talk about something that gets talked about a lot, but not always in a way that actually lands in real life and actually makes sense of how you get to do this. And the topic is self-love. And in the last couple weeks, um, I've been shown to go deeper with my own self-love and what that gets to look like. I did I was a speaker for a colleague on one of her seminars a couple of weeks ago. And I declared in that speech that I loved myself. And that's not usually something a lot of women say. And I wasn't just speaking words, I meant it. I truly, honestly, authentically love myself. And after that, certain things came up about what it means to even go deeper in that self-love. And I love that I'm still learning to love myself even deeper. And I wanted to talk about this because it can be a really sensitive topic to people. And one of the main things in human experience is this concept of self-worth and self-esteem, and how much we literally get in our own ways from living this best life, this knowing that we already know, because we wrap so much around our value that we placed upon ourselves. And when we see ourselves as less than or through the eyes of what we think other people see us from, it limits us and it keeps us small. And honestly, what wants to come to me right now is that's what the powers that be want. They want to keep us small. And who they are, we're not going to get into that today. But the fact of the matter is, when we were born, our parents didn't know. And if you were lucky enough to have parents that knew, oh my God, thank you. But we were born and we weren't taught through society, through paradigms, that how worthy we are. Like literally, we are born. We are spirit. We are divinity. And if you are born and if you are a divine creator, how could you not be worthy? I mean, that's literally the conversation right there. If you are born and you know you are divine, that you came from infinite source creator, all that is love. How therefore can you not be worthy? Case point done. And so for a long time, I've known that, and I've known how worthy I am. But all of the beliefs that had been buried deep inside my subconscious in this body that holds and feels everything needed to come up and out to be witnessed and seen and let go of and decided upon. And so when we start asking for more in our life, when we start dreaming, when we allow ourselves to dream again or imagine again, those things come up to be seen so that we get to make a new decision on it. And if we could look at it like that, that we are literally not being like, oh my God, here it is again. All of a sudden, all of these scenarios occur to show me that I'm not worthy. No, all those scenarios are occurring in your everyday experience to show you how worthy you are, to show you that your old patterning doesn't get to exist anymore if you declare it to be done. So it's showing up, your natural pattern or habit's going to go to this thought of, oh, like they don't like me, or see, I wasn't invited. But really, these are examples, but really, the truth of the matter is they're presenting for you to look at the scenario and perceive it differently. I am infinite source, creator, consciousness. I was born, therefore I am worthy. Case point done. Therefore, in this scenario, that person, their reflection of what I think they're thinking isn't true. They just could be taking a walk and didn't actually see you. They weren't ignoring you because you weren't worthy enough. I mean, those are the self-talk that we have created over and over and over again that keeps us small, keeps us in fear, keeps us hiding. And as powerful, awakened, intuitive, sensitive women, are we ready to declare that we are done with this? You want to talk about true self-love? Let's declare that's done. And when the next thing shows in your life where it's trying to get your attention to see where you're out of sync with the truth of who you are, you get to then say, thank you for showing me, because that's not true anymore. That's just not true. And it's like 101 of self-love. When you recognize that it's your perception that's caused you so much pain, it's the judgment that's caused you so much pain and agony and hurt and literal physical illness because your body is constantly trying to tell you when you're out of alignment and out of sync with the truth of who you are. When you recognize how unbelievably loved, loving, and lovable you are, when you know it, let this be an activation, by the way. When you know it, magic gets to occur. And so I know what I'm saying can sound like I'm making it sound too easy, but are we not ready to declare that life just gets to be easier? I mean, if we're creators and we came here to have a human experience as these powerful, powerful, divine, feminine beings, do we not get to declare that finally our lives get to be easier and know that it gets to occur? I mean, that is the activation today. That's what's coming through so strongly because for a really long time, I've had this desire, this knowing that life just gets to be easier and easier and easier. And yet it was showing harder and harder and harder because the knowing was there, but the belief that it was actually possible, it really wasn't. And the more I declare it to be easier, like ease, grace, and flow, that's the life I want to live. Everything ease, grace, and flow. Joy, harmony, peace, vitality, abundance, flexibility, prosperity, love, passion, compassion. So I could just name them off because I ask for them all the time. And if I'm asking, it must occur that it gets to exist. It just must be able to exist. I therefore would not be asking. So I was out for dinner with my daughter, my eldest daughter, a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about some scenarios in our lives. And I talked to her about it just being easy. And she got a lot of fear and anxiety. She's extremely sensitive too. And about that, because there's some belief system in her body, unaware or aware, that she can't have it. That there's a lie that's been told to herself that she doesn't get to have her life be easy. And until she decides that that's not true, then life is just going to keep projecting on her things that are not easy until she decides that life gets to be easy. So, um, I want to come back in full circle because taking care of yourself and giving yourselves those times to do the things, and I know this is said and you can hear it on, you can look at social media and scroll Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or YouTube and see loads of things on self-love and what self-care looks like. But it's like, how could we like literally drop all of that? Because a lot of times it has to do with, well, here's another thing you should do, right? You need to move, you need to eat, nutritiously, you need to self-care, you need to journal, you need to this, you need to that. And instead of it freeing us, it gives us more have do's and should do's, and it causes more angst and more contraction. When in reality, we're meant to be these expansive, expressive creator spirits. and we get to be. So, one thing I would say to start this journey for yourself of more deeply embodying the concept of self-love would be to decide one thing. For me, like, there's many that I do now, but it's like my facilitator, when he was helping support me through this, he wanted me to do what's called Jennifer Hour. And it was like, Jennifer, just take 1 hour a day for yourself. And at that time, it was like, wow, 1 hour. Like, how would I do that? Because I wasn't putting myself on the top of the totem pole. And the point is, when you put yourself on the top of the totem pole, life morphs and all your dreams and hopes actually come into fruition instead of you being on the bottom of the totem pole and you put everyone else's life first and then your own, then it just gets harder and harder and harder. But we're declaring we want life to be easier and easier and easier. And in order to do that, you have to be on the top of your totem pole. It's your life. And so Jennifer Hour started to morph itself, and it might have started out for myself at the time, it's many years ago, to be 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or even if I was doing it, like I love to swim and I love to be in my hot tub. I love water. It's very freeing for me. I was still feeling guilty. So I'd be in there and I'd be doing Jennifer Hour, but here was the guilt. Oh, you could be doing this, you should be doing that, or someone's projecting their shit on you. But the peace that you get when you allow yourself to just know that by taking care of you, by get showing yourself moments or an hour or a whole day's worth or a whole week's worth or a whole life's work of pure self-love and care, and the peace that you get when the guilt drops because you realize that the more and more you love yourself, the more and more you take care of yourself, the more and more your loved ones do the same. The more and more that comes back to you in your everyday experience. The more and more you watch, for example, if you have children, your children's reactions to you morph and to their life morphs. Literally, life responds to that self-care of self by showing you it everywhere in your life. And I know this to be true because I've done it. I know this to be true because people around me and clients have done it, and they've literally watched their lives morph. So, self-love today starts with you putting yourself on the top. I mean, whether or not you're in the depths of working through self-love or you're just beginning, it doesn't matter. You're perfectly perfect in your perfect timing right now. So putting you on the top totem pole today, what does that look like? For me, what was presenting a couple of weeks ago, and things have been showing and presenting itself for me to deepen the awareness of the self-love, was actually body self-love. And it's like, instead of desiring this or that to have to change, what does it truly look like to be fully in love with myself, all aspects of it, body, mind, spirit, thinking, choices, and just be so good with where I'm at right here, right now. The freedom and the peace that comes with that, to not be like, oh, I wish that could be different, or I wish I didn't have these like little crow lines, or oh, I wish I could lose a couple of pounds, or this or that. And just look in your eyes in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are inside and out, and how to love yourself is to look and see the love in your eyes and just watch your eyes and see the divinity in them, even if it's for a minute. For me, self-love is water, as I said. It's journaling myself back into my own presence and my own awareness. What is it for you? How do you start that for yourself today? What does that look like to take care of yourself? Because knowing that you taking care of yourself is you taking care of all the people that you love, that gets to be pure freedom too. Not for another have to, but just because it just honestly, it feels so good. And life literally morphs to give you more of that. So I'm so honored you're here with me. I'm so honored we're part of this journey together. If you have any questions, please, yeah, drop them below, however you're watching this or hearing this. And I'd be excited to continue this journey. There's so much about self-love, and that's going to like ebb and flow through all of these conversations, from the concepts of guilt and not doing enough to feeling like you're doing too much to, and vice versa, and how to explore what it's like to truly truly understand how loved, loving, and lovable you are, and to really embody that knowing. Mm, Pure freedom. Thank you so much. This is Jennifer Van Huswick. Have a blast.